Today I would like to share with you how the Great Green Wall is addressing economic and social development to secure climate change. First, I will explain the problem climate change has contributed to with food and water insecurity and increased poverty. Then, I will explain how the Great Green Wall is using education and funding to combat climate change in communities that are most at risk. In a study performed by the University of Maryland, they found that the Sahara Desert has grown by at least 10% since 1920 in conjunction with climate change. This has a direct impact on the bordering Sahel region by reducing the quality and quantity of agricultural land. The agricultural sector employs 60% of Africa's population, and livestock farming provides jobs for more than 20 million people in the Sahel. National Geographic explains how the loss of vegetation results in higher temperatures and reduced water sources and weakens the land's ability to resist desertification. As the climate evolves from semi-arid to arid, it increases the risk of drought and famine in the area. In the drought-prone sub-Saharan African countries, the number of undernourished people has increased by 45.6% since 2012, according to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Mahina J. Mohammed's address for the UN, she says, "Desertification and drought, made worse by climate change, are intersecting with conflict and the economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic to put 34 million people at risk of famine. Climate change has increased poverty by depleting these industries' natural resources, which are vital to their sustainability. Herders are having increasing difficulty finding water and pasture for their livestock and are changing their migration patterns in search of these resources." Hamaj Berry shares in his interview with the World Bank, and I quote, "Migrant herders are arriving earlier and earlier before the end of our harvests, and sometimes the animals destroy our fields. The economic ecosystem that has been in place for years between the two core industries of the Sahel is unraveling as they are forced to compete with each other for survival, further hurting the economic infrastructure of Africa. The Great Green Wall is focused on restoring this environment through local education and resource funding. Education provided by the Great Green Wall initiative centers around proper agroforestry, water harvesting, and irrigation practices, and on how to create shelter belts for their farmlands. Abdel Aldi, one of the Sudanese farmers who received this training, shares with Cornell how it has helped in controlling soil erosion in Sudan. He says, "With agroforestry, we were taught how to integrate trees, which are helpful in climate change mitigation, into our farming activities with an aim of achieving better productivity by tapping into the ecosystem amenities supplied by trees." One organization called Acacias for All was founded by a local woman, Tumi, and has planted more than 700,000 acacia trees in the region and helps to educate farmers how to harvest the leaves, fruit, and gum of the plant so that they can make a living from it. Tumi says, "It's about creating sustainable livelihoods for people so that they can live peacefully in their ecosystems and preserve their traditions and preserve their landscapes." Funding provided by the Great Green Walls Initiative provides crucial materials for the application of education received, especially in the case of establishing irrigation, water catchments, and securing higher quality seed. Research published by WMO shows that solar-powered efficient micro-irrigation is increasing farm-level incomes by 5 to 10 times, improving yields by up to 300%, and reducing water usage by up to 90%, while at the same time offsetting carbon emissions by generating up to 250 kilowatts of clean energy. Fatimata, a 38-year-old mother of 4, is one of many farmers who recently received improved seed through the Great Green Wall's funding. She says, and I quote, "My farming prospects have gotten better on account of using improved grain seeds. I am now able to produce and harvest sturdier crops, which have a better market value. We have also attained training on appropriate crop rotation and how to use small-scale irrigation for crop production and for extending farming activities into the dry season." In conclusion, climate change is a devastating problem for Africa with short and long-term implications to their environment. The Great Wall has made amazing progress in combating the effects of climate change and investing in the restoration of the Sahel region infrastructure. This project is a marathon, though, and requires a global commitment to complete the cycle of change. It is reasonable to expect, based on research and data, that following the current trajectory, the Great Green Walls Initiative can reverse the damage to these communities by the end of the century.